Hi, everybody. Happy Monday. Happy June 1st. We'll be getting started in just a few minutes. So if you're like me, I'm going to do one more potty break before we get started, and we'll see you in about 3 minutes. Hi, everybody. So we're about 2 minutes out. So again, I did my potty break, so I invite you to do one, and we'll meet back here in 2 minutes. Hi again, everybody. This is Allison from the ELC. We're still waiting a few more minutes. It's 2 o'clock. We have about 100 participants. We'll give them another minute before we get started. It's fun to kind of see the attendee list. I see some VIPs on there, one with the initials of WK. So we're kind of excited to see that as always. So just kind of hang out another minute and we'll be getting started shortly. If you want to, if you're very tech savvy while you wait, head over to the ELC of Broward's Facebook page. Our story time for Monday afternoon just went live. So if you have a moment while we're waiting for this to get started, join our story time. Today's story time is brought to you by one of our fabulous coaches, Stephanie. She's going live right now. So it's kind of fun if you're a techie and you can do it. I have it going on my phone while we have this up on the computer. That's about as techie as I get. So we'll give it about 30 more seconds because we have 122. Woohoo! People joined. So we're going to we had almost 200, I think, register. So we'll give it another 20 seconds. So again, while we kind of wait, welcome again to the plan meeting. Today, if you could believe it, is Monday, June 1st. I can't believe it's June. Hello, June. Not quite the way we thought we'd be spending our June, but here we are. So just a little remember to take care of you. I know it's hard, but it's super important. Again, my name is Allison. I am from the Early Learning Coalition. I will be your moderator for today. And to kick things off before we kind of get completely started, we're gonna do a little poll. So I can't believe it's June 1st because I feel like, are you A, the 19 in COVID is the weight gains and then some. This is just a nightmare that I cannot wake up from. Today starts hurricane season. That just sounds great. And someone needs to give 2020 a Snickers bar and all will be right, if you know what that means, if you've seen those commercials. So take a moment just to kind of see where you stand. I can honestly and unfortunately share with you that I am probably a little of all the above, but if you know me well, then you know that the 19 in COVID-19 is the weight that I've gained and I'm not very happy about it. So in the last few days, I'm back on track. So steer clear of me, don't anger me because I'm hungry all the time. So just a little heads up on that one. We are just about halfway through the voting and then we'll get kind of started. And can you believe that today is hurricane season? Get your supplies. I have tons of water already in my house, so that's good. So I got to drink, and that will help the weight go away as well. And I don't know about some of you guys. I have been having some kind of crazy dreams lately. I think I've heard on the news that that's sort of normal. So we're at 60% voted, so we'll give it another 30 seconds so we kind of see how we're all managing through this crazy time. And we're at 144 participants of today's webinar. So that's exciting too. Remember, we got to keep our numbers up for this. And we're at 68% voted. We'll give it another 10 seconds. Stay with me in your muted way. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And that is that. I am closing the poll. And I will share with you where everybody is at. So it's kind of a tie. I think some of you are with me with kind of the weight, but someone does need to give 2020 a Snickers bar. I can't take credit for that because I did see that as a meme somewhere. But if you're like me and you pay attention to commercials, you know, you get the gist of it. So with that, I welcome you again to our June 1st plan meeting. If you want to follow along with our, I'm gonna actually go back to our pretty heart on our PowerPoint. If I can, just give me 1 second. There we go. There's our heart. Remember, take care of you. Let's see, there we go. So, whoops, I have a little mistake there. I didn't update the date, but today is June 1st. Don't get confused. We did not travel back in time. If you want to download the agenda, it's under the handouts. Go for it. Here we go. Okay, so, here I'm giving away all the information. So I am going to turn it over to Renee Jaffe, our CEO, as I pull up the agenda myself. So Renee, are you on?
Yes, I'm on. Can you hear me, Allison?
Yep, I hear you. So I turn it over to you.
Wonderful. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you are all safe and healthy. Welcome to June. Welcome to our plan meeting. As Allison said, these are crazy times, and in more ways than one. I was certainly so saddened this weekend watching the news. I don't know about you. I was glued to the news and what was going around the country. And there is just so much repair that needs to take place, and it just, quite honestly, it just made me sad in light of everything that's going on with the pandemic. So my goal today is to ensure that we are giving you as much information and clarity as we can. Unfortunately, we don't have all the answers. We are waiting for OEL on a lot of outstanding information. I will acknowledge that they have relayed that they too are waiting for a lot of information from the governor's office. With everything going on, it's understandable that some of these things would be delayed, but it is very frustrating nonetheless. We were told by OEL on multiple occasions last week that there's a lot of updates that are coming out and that we will hopefully get more information this week. So my fingers, my toes, my ears, everything is crossed and hoping that we will have more information to share with you this week. As soon as we hear, we will get it out to you. But again, my hope for today is that we can provide at least a little bit of clarity and some additional information. So with that, I'm going to jump right into it. And I just kind of want to go through some of the waivers and extensions that are still in effect so that that you're aware that they are still in effect. I also wanted to give you just some updates of where we are. As of today, Broward County, we are our childcare community is about 50% open and 50% closed. That is a huge change from 2 weeks ago. We were above 70% closed. So many of you have opened up over the last 2 weeks. And we will see what happens beyond that. While childcare programs are opening back up, we did get confirmation from the county and from local licensing, who will be speaking later today. I believe it's William, that Broward County has not lifted the stable groups of 10 restriction. Okay, I know that was in the CDC guidelines. The old ones, new ones came out, and there's been a lot of different executive orders around the state and the country, but Broward, it is still in effect for Broward. Okay, and as you know, the executive order from the governor's office has put in some waivers, right? They've laxed on some of the requirements. So I just wanted to go through those as well. For the June service month, I know you've likely been waiting for information from either from us or from OEL. OEL told us we've just been informed that they will be paying for the June service month, so enrollments based on enrollments, again, the same exactly what's been happening since the middle of March. That will continue through June. We do know that OEL is going to do another questionnaire, so thank you to all of you who filled that out, who were closed. There will be another one, and we do ask that as soon as you see the questionnaire from OEL that you complete it. If not, we will certainly be reaching out to you to request that you complete that. Those are for closed programs. So if you didn't get a questionnaire, it's because you were open. So the questionnaire is for closed programs. The questionnaire for June will be about those providers who were closed in May. and June. So they're working on that questionnaire. They're revising it. They're hoping to make it actually shorter, which would be great. So stay tuned on that. They said, OEL said that they're hoping to get messaging about the June service month, confirming that they're paying for June services, and the questionnaire that they're hoping to get it out this week. The requirement for child screening and assessments, those are still being waived. So right now you don't have to worry about that. Okay. Also, provider improvement plans, anyone on an improvement plan, they're extending that deadline as well. So stay tuned for information about when that extension will go to, but right now still in place. Eligibility for our school readiness family still been, we are not terminating anyone. That is still in effect. Redeterminations are continuing to be extended. It is important to note that OEL did approve a job search as an eligible reason for care. So previously that was not a purpose for care. So if you were on our wait list, or if you were employed and in school readiness, but that parent then became unemployed, they would not necessarily be eligible, right? Looking for a job was not a reason for care. They have determined that now it will be a reason for care. So that means that we can go ahead and start encouraging parents who had been up for redetermination over the past few months. We can encourage them to start doing that so that they can get ahead of it, because their eligibility, while it's been extended, the clock on their year continues. So we want to make sure that they're doing that and that we're getting it out of the way. But the good news is, even if they don't do it right now, or if they're not employed, that's okay. That's okay right now. We will not be dropping anyone. Everyone will continue to remain on your roster. Okay. Parent copays are still being waived. That's been in effect since April 1st, as you know, and we believe this will go through the end of June only. But again, we are waiting for OEL to confirm this, but as of now, that's what we're hearing. You may recall that there were some waivers related to VPK and that 70% completion rate that those children would, if they had gone beyond that 70%, that they could also enroll in the school program or in the summer program, more importantly. We've had a lot of questions about that, and we internally have a lot of questions about that rule. We've sent them to OEL. We're waiting for confirmation. Over the weekend, I was emailing with the executive director of OEL, and she said to stay tuned because there would be additional guidance on that 70%, and that they are hoping to, there's going to be another maybe waiver or something related to that, or clarification or update on that number. They're just trying to be more flexible with that. So I'm hoping to have more information on that soon. As you know, VBK classes, now you can have a classroom of less than 4 students. So that's still in effect, which is good news. Let's see, what else do we have? Eligibility, as I mentioned, that job search is now a reason for care, which is great. And we are hoping to open up our waitlist in the near future as a result. Also now, and we're waiting for more information on this, but the 20 hours per week work education for families, for school readiness families, for initial eligibility, that's been suspended as well. So that will give some flexibility to our parents on the wait list. As you know, that school readiness, it had been a requirement that for the new fiscal year, that providers were going to need to implement an approved curriculum, and OEL had recently updated that list. That, as you know, that's been extended. Now the date is September 30th. We are continuing to take childcare applications for first responders and medical personnel. That is going to go through, from what we know, that is going through till June 30th. It actually may be extended till the end of September. We don't have confirmation through the end of September. We do know for now, at least through the month of June, that will be in effect. Right now, we have enrolled over 1,200 first responders and medical personnel families into the school readiness program. And 582 of them were already in care, but they were private pay, and now they're part of the system. Okay, so we're going to continue doing that through the end of this month. Hopefully, they're going to extend that. What we are waiting on right now, there's a waiver at the governor's office to extend your provider contracts. I know that you are able to access the VPK contracts, and we have received a good deal of those contracts, which is great and it's helpful. But there may be an extension. That doesn't mean that you can't do it now. We encourage you, if you can do it, to do it now. But if you can't, understanding that there's so much uncertainty right now, that there will likely be an extension coming in the very near future. As soon as we have that information, we will, of course, share that with you. Although they are hoping to extend provider contracts, there will be some provisions in there because they want to make sure that the health and safety assessments and any inspections are still up to date. So there will be some additional provisions in that extension. We're also hoping to hear from OEL about extensions of timelines for completion of quality improvement plans and for an extension of provider profiles. You guys are doing a great job doing that. I just encourage you, if you haven't done it yet, to continue to do that. We're still moving forward with processing those, but again, there may be an extension on that. I'm sure you're all very eager to hear about the CARES funding. As you may recall, there's $223 billion, no, I'm sorry, there's $223 million allocated to the state of Florida to help childcare providers get relief related to this pandemic. Unfortunately, we don't have details. We know that the focus primarily will be on those programs that are open and those that are planning to open, and that will be both for contracted programs, so those with school readiness and VPK, as well as those that are not. We hope to have more information shortly. We are dying to hear what those details will be. But what OEL has relayed is that they are hopeful that we will be able to make CARES payments in June. So hopefully sooner than later. Lastly, I just wanted to remind you, if you received a survey from the Department of Health, it is a real thing. It is a real survey. They are trying to get information as it pertains to the food program. We don't have anything to do with that survey. If you have questions, you should reach out to the Department of Health. Those are pretty much my updates. Again, I really wish we had some clarity on some of those additional items, some of the waivers that I told you should be forthcoming, as well as the CARES Act. I know you're dying to get information about that. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of details at this point, but are optimistic that in the very near future, we will have that information. What we will be doing is providing more information about the mini grants, and at least that is some relief. Obviously, it's not it's not as much as we would like right now for you guys, but it's the information that we have. So my colleagues will be going over that information after this update. So that's my update.
Thank you, Renee. Thank you, thank you. And now I am going to find Howard Bacalar on our long list of attendees. Here we go. There's two Howard Bacalars, so let's hope that I unmute the correct one.
This is the nicer
Can you hear
Howard
me?
Bacalar. Can you hear me? The other must be
Howard,
loud.
are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, okay, you are now live and you have the floor.
All right, I'm guessing everyone else can hear me too. Well, good afternoon, everyone. I am going to talk mini grants. So as Renee said, we did finally receive some clear communication for mini grants from OEL. The only thing we don't have finalized yet is our budget for mini grants. It's almost finalized. So we know that we'll be offering up to $1,000 per mini grant. And we're of course going to try and get as close to the $1,000 mark as possible. As soon as we know, you guys will know. So thank you all you early birds who have already submitted your mini grants. So far I've received in the mini grant folder about 130 applications as of Friday, so that's a lot. So for those of you who haven't yet, it's super easy, and what we're going to do really quickly is go through the forms. So first of all, the mini grants, there are 3 of them. 2 of them are very easy. It's one quick form, and those 2 are for health and safety and cleaning supplies. You know what, before we even do that, oh, okay, it's on screen. Fantastic, Allison, thank you. You've read my mind. You're a genius. So this form that we're looking at on screen, by the way, is available right from our website. You're going to see COVID-19 popular resources. The first thing right there is 2020 mini grants for SR and VPK providers. Okay, so you're just popping on that. This is the one form you're filling out. So as you see, the A, B, C, D, and E, the check marks, that's for each mini grant you would like to apply for. Okay, so you're doing one form, just this one form for the 3 mini grants that are available. You have extra forms to do for training stipends, but Allison will handle that little confusing piece in a sec. But the one big mistake I keep seeing from those who have applied so far, and from about 25% of you who have applied so far, you've only checked one of these boxes. So as my Jewish mother would say, what are you, crazy? You check all of the boxes. If we're giving, if they're giving, we're taking. So this is for you guys. Check health and safety if you need health and safety supplies and up to $1,000 from us for those. If you want to be reimbursed for your infrastructure operating costs, check that one, because again, that's a separate grant. We don't want you to shortchange yourself. So check both of those if you want to receive dollars from us for those 2 mini grants. Also, D, the professional development training stipends, that is exactly what Allison is going to go through. That is so that your educators can take statewide trainings, and there's a list of approved statewide trainings. This is their opportunity to take those trainings and be reimbursed directly from us. It's a little bit more complicated, and I'm not smart enough to actually explain that. That's why Allison will be doing that piece. So we're just going to go quickly down this form. Hardest part, right there, just checking those correct boxes. Then all you're doing is filling out your name and your center or your home. You have to be a school readiness or VPK provider, which all of you are. You wouldn't be on this call to be eligible for this. It's not for public schools. So because you need to be open, that's the next piece. You need to be open or planning to be open within the next 10 business days. That's very important. This is the OEL piece of we'd like for you to be open or planning to open. And you see that middle one. Again, this is a kicker. We want to make sure you understand that, because we've had a few questions about this. When we're talking about yes and no, that you're operating without a pending contract-related corrective action or probation notice in effect, here we go. This is not about VPK improvement plans. It's not about QIPs. It's not about the program stuff. It's whether licensing has given you a class 1, a major class 1 violation, and you're still on a cap or a probation notice. So if you have any further questions, we've gone over that pretty well in the frequently asked questions or FAQ document, which is also on our website. But if you have more questions, just email me. That's on the FAQ site also. My email address if you have any other questions or concerns. So I think that should do. Can you cursor down a little bit, Allison? Thank you. So that's it. You sign and you're going to send this, and this is on our website and it's on the FAQs, to minigrants@elcbroward.org. And that's it. You're going to get an automatic response from us that we've received your application. What happens then is I go through, take your application, put it into a folder, and then Amy Unger and her fantastic group go through and make sure that you guys are eligible. Then it gets sent off to Christine and her wonderful group for payment. So easy peasy, other than it may take a little while for us to process payment, as again, we're waiting to make sure that we have the most dollars available to pay this. Okay, and also please do this sooner rather than later. It doesn't have to be within the next 5 minutes, but it should be within the next 5 days. Not that the governor's emergency action is ending in 5 days, but this is only good while the action is available. Oh, one other thing, by the way, and this is also in the FAQ. Please read the FAQ document. The bookkeeping requirements on you guys for this is minimal to none. You're basically just promising that you're going to use the funds for cleaning supplies and for your infrastructure. We are not looking for receipts. We're not looking for your blood type. So it's totally unlike, well, I'd say us, but usually when I say us, it's OEL forced us to do it. It's totally unlike our usual stuff. There are minimal requirements. OEL wants these dollars out to you as quickly as possible, their definition of quickly. So I think that's about it. Allison, have I missed anything big and important?
Yeah, before we jump to the next one, I've had a few questions asking, do you check all of the boxes even if you are not opening within the next 10 days? And if I'm not open, can I still apply?
Do not submit this document until you are planning to open within the next 10 days. So don't, yeah, so submit if you're planning to open within the next 10 days. That's why I said, don't wait forever. Don't wait 3 months to submit this, but you do have to wait until you're about to open. Again, it's for reopening centers or currently operating centers. If you're not opening anytime soon, you don't need cleaning supplies right now.
And we just got one other question. I turned my mini grant paperwork in on Saturday, but I did not get a confirmation email.
Oh, that's bizarre. Okay, just email me afterward, and then
We'll check back with you. We'll check back with you.
As I've memorized every single provider who has applied, I'll probably be able to answer your question pretty quickly.
Oh, you know what? I see, because I think that was sent to the ELCB training account and not to the mini grant. I know it's kind of confusing now. We have the mini grant email, we have ELCB training at ELC Broward as well. So we have a few new email addresses kind of going on.
Okay,
so,
and really use your best estimate for 10 business days, but really, I'm not calling you at noon on the 10th business day. I'm going to expect that you're open, but we do look at the open and closed list. So if you say you're open and you're not planning to open anytime soon, we will see that and you'll get a call.
So are you good? You feel good with your update?
I feel good. I hope everyone else feels good. And really, if you have any other questions, just let me know. For all of the folks who've submitted already, who've missed something, as you know, I've emailed you back if I saw that you may be shortchanging yourself a little bit and didn't mean to. So I appreciate everyone who's responded to those emails. A lot of you have already, so thanks. And your stuff has already been pushed through.
Okay, great. So I am going to mute you for now. And then I am going to take over for a moment or two and talk about the stipends, which is mini grant number 3. And I am going to open up. You should have got an email from us last week, which had a link for all the OEL trainings that are part of this fabulous stipend program. I also put in a link in the chat. Everyone should have got www.elcbroward.org/minigrants. Super easy. Click that link and it'll also bring you to a lot of that information. So if you look at the screen right now, you should be seeing what I'm seeing, which is a list of professional development courses. These are the ones that OEL have included in mini grant number 3 for stipends for your team. Okay, so these are all online trainings. They are self-paced. You take them whenever you want. These are different from what our local education team has been doing. Remember, our trainings are always Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at 1 o'clock, and Monday nights, we'll see you tonight. There's a training tonight at 7 o'clock. Those are ELC only, and for June, remember, our June trainings are just for your free in-service. Remember, you're still responsible for your in-service hours. Calendar June 30th ends. So getting back to our screen and the OEL trainings, the first one is a health and safety module. This one is free. It's through the University of Florida. It has different courses within this one. It's a great training. And make sure if you go on, use the link, you register for the Office of Early Learning Trainings. And then we have a whole lot of other trainings that are included. These are all through the DCF training portal, all the online classes. They're $10 to register. You know these courses. This is where we take our 45 hours. This is where we take our VPK standards trainings and things like that. So there's a whole lot of them. And remember, you can download this form from our website. If you are on a VPK improvement plan, there's a few of them that are part of the development that are on this list. So that's a double whammy for you. If you want to take a VPK improvement plan course and get a stipend for it, that's fabulous. So take a look at all the courses. Everything that you can get a stipend for has to be starting from March 1st, 2020 up until current. So remember, this goes for as long as we have the state of emergency. And then I wanted to also show you, you see there's a lot of interesting courses you could take. The bottom one is from Teachstone Training. It's My Teachstone Learning. This is something, My Teachstone, we've shared with you. We've had a few trainings about it. You need to have a login from that. So if you are interested in this one, please email us. Gordia is our My Teachstone ambassador. Her email address, I'm going to put it in the chat. If you want My Teachstone access to access these 2 courses, there's an infant, toddler, and a pre-K. You have to take all the little silhouettes that are in it. There's little exemplar videos and things inside of the My Teachstone learning resources. You need access. I will put that in the chat for you. Remember, and another word of caution, first come, first serve with the My Teachstone free courses, because we get this through, again, the Office of Early Learning, and we share it with the whole state of Florida. So reach out to Gordia Ross, gross@elcbroward.org for more information on how to register. It's coming at you right now in the chat box. And again, you can get up to $750. That's about 10 courses. And again, these are the only ones that are part of this. This is not through Flamingo Learning. That is different. That is Early Learning Florida. This is not MMCI. If you did MMCI, this is different, okay? So if you have questions about this, email elcbtraining@elcbroward.org. I also, if you can still see my screen, really encourage you, see down here. Let me see if you can see. There's a way I could see if we're looking at the same thing. So if you see, there's the frequently asked questions, mini grant number 1 and number 2. That's what Howard went over. Mini grant number 3 about the stipends. Please read through those FAQs, because I can tell you that a lot of the emails I've gotten already, they're all answered in the FAQs. And again, if you want other clarification, please don't hesitate to reach out. And remember, Gordia is only for my Teachstone access. All the other courses through the DCF website, you do on your own, the same way you do your 45 hours. So I think there's some other questions which I will respond to individually, but I also had promised that I would save some time and share my time with another VIP, someone that her name begins with the letter A, which, hey, what can I say? That sounds amazing because my name starts with A. So if you didn't guess, it's Amy Unger. I'm going to unmute her because like I said, I promised her I would give her some time today. Amy, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Now I can hear you.
There we go. Hi, everybody. Allison, thank you for sharing your time with me. That's very generous of you. I'll keep it brief. Just wanted to throw out a couple of reminders and a little bit of information that you hopefully saw in your email, but if not, I'll direct you to your email. As was already discussed, we are working on your VPK contracts for the upcoming school year. If you haven't done your VPK contract yet, you intend to offer VPK in the school year, please feel free to get started on that. We're happy to review those as early as we possibly can. Also, you should have received an email from your provider relations specialist on Friday regarding the SR Match program. That's what we used to call the CCEP, the Child Care Executive Partnership Program. That's basically a program for child care providers who want to help their employees with the cost of child care. You get reimbursed 50% of the school readiness rate, and it's a benefit to your employees because they get in sooner than they would if they were waiting on the general wait list. We have to have these applications in pretty quickly this year due to all the changes coming from OEL. Things came out a little bit later this year than we're used to, so we have to have these done within the next week and a half. June 10th is our deadline. If you want more information about that program, or you didn't see the email and you're not quite sure how to complete the form, your provider relations staff are here to help you with that. So please reach out to me or your provider relations specialist. Also, just wanted to mention, Howard talked about the list of open providers on our ELC website. We do our very best to keep up with that information, and I know that you're being asked to report your closures to so many different people: licensing, your food program, our payment department, education department. Everybody's trying to get the information, so you probably think you've reported it to everybody, but maybe you forgot someone. So I would ask you to take a minute and look on the homepage of the ELC Broward website and make sure that your status is correctly, yeah, you gonna show us that, Allison? That your status is correctly reflected there. If you are open and the list does not say that, you are going to soon see a form that you can complete, and all the information will go to everybody at the ELC Broward that needs it. There we go, open childcare providers. So again, you're going to get an email from your provider relations specialist with some information about where you can go to check your opening and to report your closure or your opening, so that we can make sure and tell all of Broward County when you are open and ready for business. And that's all the news I have. Thanks, Allison.
Thank you, Amy. I want to reverse back one more second, going back to my stipend program that I was sharing with you about. I want to let you know, again, please, please, please read the FAQ on it. It's really helpful. When you share this with your staff, please note that there is another form that they will need to fill out. It's attachment number 2. And as the director, you do have a portion that you will be responsible for completing as well. This form, each individual educator will submit to us with their certificates of completion for every course they took. And again, if they're new to receiving a stipend from us, then their fabulous W-9, ACH, and direct deposit information. If you've gotten a Learn and Earn stipend, then you're good, and then we will just need this form and your certificates. But please note, this form will be compared with the other form that Howard had mentioned, attachment 1. So we need to make sure that you guys, as the directors, as the owners and administrators of the school, that you have attachment 1 filled out, and then assist your staff with completing attachment 2 with all their name, their personal information, all the trainings they took. Remember, only the OEL trainings, only the ones on that table that was shared earlier. And then it has, I'm scrolling through quickly. You can download it off our website. It has some information, their name, their title, what age group they work with. And I'm just really trying to show you again that you have to have a part in completing this. So you're the sponsoring provider. You are the sponsoring provider for each person. Okay, so just to let you guys know a little bit about that. And with that, I am going to turn it back to our agenda, and I am going to unmute Christine, who has all your information and fabulous answers to a lot of your new questions. So here we go. Christine, are you there?
I'm here.
Here you go. I give you the floor.
Okay, here are the fabulous updates from the fabulous EFS mod system. I bet you never thought you would hear those two words together, fabulous and EFS mod. So I hope everyone is having a good day. I just wanted to update you on a couple of things that are particular to payments. At the risk of being a broken record from some of our previous presenters, I just want to remind everybody that we do need to collect your open and closed status. We need that particularly in the payments department, because in order for us to set up your payment on the back end, we need to have some confirmation from you about the dates in which you are operating or you are not operating. So we must have a response. Sandra sends out an email each month asking for that information. We must receive that information back in order for us to process. I'm also bringing you some good news in the Department of EFS Mod, in that a new functionality that has been lagging is finally coming online, and we are in the process of working through it, and it's for child assessments. Child assessments are calculated on a quarterly basis for all of last year, and we are in the process of doing the first quarter, so you will see that in the upcoming batch. And thereafter, we will be catching up with the remaining 3 quarters, and those will be included in subsequent batches. So if you have any questions about that, please contact your reimbursement specialist, and they will be able to talk through any issues that you may have. I may also mention that down the road after the summer, we should have registration fee functionality online and working, and that's also something that we will be paying retroactively for the last fiscal year. We are still waiting for some functionality development and other things, but as soon as we're able, we will be putting that one in the hopper as well. I just also want to remind everybody about how to process your attendance. If you are open and you are Serving children, you should be entering the children as present, and you should be entering the unit of care to reflect the actual care that you are providing. I have in mind specifically a school-age child. If a school-age child is there full-time in care on otherwise a school day, you would enter that child as full-time. If you are open and children are absent, you should enter that child as absent. There are no limits to the number of absence days that you may enter. If you are closed, you should be entering all children as absent and submitting that to us along with your status of your open or closed provider email so that we know how to process your payment on the back end. We need those two things together. And then last but not least, Renee also mentioned this in her statement, but I just wanted to circle back with you again on this question, that when the OEL puts surveys in EFS Mod and they are mandatory to be completed, we ask that you do make sure that you take the time to go in and enter those. They may affect whether or not we can process your payment. So it's very important that you pay attention to those emails when they go out, that you have to complete those surveys. If you have any questions, if you need any help completing the survey, if you completed the survey and you're not sure if you did it right or if it's complete, please contact your provider reimbursement specialist and they will do their best to help you work through any problems that you may be encountering. Thank you for your time, and I'm turning it back to Allison.
Christine, before I let you go, I just have one question for you. Are there monthly reimbursement reports on the portal? How soon after the 19th? Are the monthly reports, I guess, due on the portal?
They are uploaded to the portal by us, and I'm going to defer to Sandra Paul to answer that question.
Let me look for her in our long list of attendees. And I am unmuting her. Hello, Sandra. Are you
Hello.
there?
As soon as payment is generated, the OEL uploads the provider reimbursement report to your portal. You should be seeing it there. If for some reason you don't see it, call your reimbursement specialist and they will be able to help you.
Thank you, Sandra. Thank you, thank you. Okay, thank you, Christine. I will officially unmute you as well. And now to follow along, I did see that we had a VIP on. I think we have William on. I am going to unmute William Clark. Are you there, William?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. So the floor is now yours.
Thanks, Allison. So good afternoon, small business professionals. It's nice to be able to address you today. I haven't had the opportunity to speak with you since the governor's order and the confusion of the county executive emergency orders came down. So I just want to make a clarification about that and answer any questions that may come up. I have spoken to quite a few of you individually, either by phone or through email about these issues. So basically, as you know, the governor determined in his executive order, I guess about a week and a half ago, that there would be no restrictions on childcare in the state of Florida. However, that order was not in effect for Broward, Palm Beach, and Miami-Dade. The three counties in Southeast Florida determined that they had, based on home rule, that they were not permitting that yet. And so I wanted to just give you the information that we have for Broward County. The Administrator's Emergency Order 20-01 is the order that is still in effect for childcare. And basically what it says in Section 3V is that childcare facilities providing services that enable employees exempted in the emergency order, and that would be, first responders and other essential employees, to the extent possible. And that's what it says in the order. It specifically says, to the extent possible, childcare facilities should operate under the following conditions. And that's when they talk about the stable groups of 10 and groups not mixing with each other and throughout the day. I don't have the answer to the question of the hour as to when will Broward relax that rule, and under what conditions might Broward relax that rule. The confusion for Broward providers is created by the fact that Broward has a local licensing agency, which is our office, and we enforce the administrative code for childcare throughout the state, as well as Broward's own ordinance for childcare. The rules coming from Emergency Order 2001 are business rules that are separate from what we do as the childcare licensing and enforcement office. In that, our office is not the enforcer of those rules. The enforcement of those rules actually comes down to the local municipalities. It's really no different than there's a Florida Administrative Code that Broward County Child Care Licensing Enforcement enforces, in the same way that there's now a Broward Emergency Order 20-01 that the municipalities are the enforcers of. So what our office has recommended is providers be in touch with your local municipality to determine how they are interpreting, in particular, the phrase in the emergency order that says, to the extent possible. It would really be up to the municipalities to determine if there is leeway with that phrase or not. So again, it says that to the extent possible, child care facilities will operate under the conditions that we've talked about. I wanted to make that really clear. If anybody would like a copy of the Emergency Order 20-01, it is on the Broward County main website, not the CCLE website, but the actual Broward County webpage, or you can email me at WSKARP as in Peter @broward.org, and I will be happy to email you a copy. It is in section 3V. It's a very long order, but that's where you'll find it. For your information also, this went into effect on March 23rd, 2020. So it's been a couple months now. Again, I don't know when and if the rules will be relaxed. We're all just kind of staying tuned. Thank you very much. Are there any questions?
Okay, there's one question. It's basically, I think you covered a lot of it. It's about, the 10 group rules still being in effect.
Yes, they are still in effect. And that 10 does include personnel. So a lot of people refer to this as a ratio of 9-to-1. It's really not a ratio issue, it's a capacity issue. You have to comply with ratio requirements in addition. So if you're talking about a group that includes infants and/or 1-year-olds, then obviously the 9-to-1 is not appropriate, because you have to comply with the ratios in addition. It's the 10-person maximum is actually a capacity issue, not a ratio issue. I know a lot of providers who have rooms that have a license capacity of 20 or more have been either putting in partitions, or they're exploring the option of putting in partitions to separate into 2 smaller rooms so they can maximize the number of children. We're doing everything we can to support you in those processes. If you have questions about that, feel free to contact your licensing specialist, or you can send an email to me as well.
And just to let everybody know, I did also put Mr. Karp's email address in the chat box, so you all should have gotten it as well. So William, when you get 50,000 emails later, I'm sorry.
It's not a problem. We're getting a lot of emails, so just bear with us. We're trying to get through them as quickly as possible. So if 60,000 people have questions, we're gonna provide 60,000 answers.
Awesome. I think that is it for the questions right now. So that's really our agenda for today. And again, we really wanted to share a lot of the mini grant information. So I also shared with everybody the elcbroward.org/mini grants. That's in the chat box. You should have gotten that directly. ELCB training at elcbroward.org. So we're always accessible by email, anytime. Email works best. And I think with that, we are basically done for today. So in the spirit of everything that we've been going through, I wanted to share something as we end our meeting today. It's a little corny, but it's a little song from the movie High School Musical, and it's basically, we're all in this together. So really, it's just so you know, we're all in this together. We're here for you. Spell us and just stay tuned as we will have updates for you, okay? Thank you for joining us today.
Dreams have no limitations. That's what it's